Greetings, beloved brothers and sisters. There's an old expression, the truth will out. It means that eventually the truth will come out. And when the truth comes out, it at the same time exposes a lie. What I want to suggest is that you allow yourself to feel how painful it is to lie. To not be in the experience of truth is actually quite painful. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy. And that most of the time, while you are in a body, with a few exceptions, you are lying. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to everyone else. You're lying that things are fine, and you're lying that things are not fine. And you're lying about who you are. It's very painful. And there's a lot of energy put forth to cover the lie. The big lie, of course, is that you are separate from God and that there are things outside of you that can affect you and that you aren't powerful and that you're subject to everything from the weather to other people's opinions. And you can fool yourself for lifetimes into believing the lies that you tell yourself. But one of the most beautiful things that happens is that the truth will out. The truth of who you are is too powerful to be suppressed and lied about forever. And that's partly why when people finally admit how difficult it is to perpetuate this lie, it's called a come to Jesus moment. There's a reason for that. Because the Christ in you knows all about the lie and gives you permission to perpetuate it as long as you wish. But most importantly, welcomes you home to the truth that you are loved, that you are supported in ways you can't even imagine, that you've never sinned, that you've never left God, and who you are is love itself. Sometimes when you're a teenager, you perpetuate a lie that you are not loved. These people who brought you up and take care of you, at a certain point you realize you're not them and you're trying to individuate. You almost have to make them wrong to make yourself right. And you learn your identity by what they aren't. You ask a teenager, a young teenager, who are you? They'll always say, well, I'm certainly not that, as they point to their parents. And if their parents have real short hair, then they have long hair, and vice versa. It's painful to have to admit later how loved you actually are and how much you actually love your parents, regardless of what they've done and regardless of what you've done. But the truth will out. And for a while, it's painful to admit the lie that you live day to day to day, the distractions that you place in front of yourself so as not to have to confront the lie. But it is a wonderful thing to come to Jesus. And the resistance to coming to Jesus often has to do with admitting that you're guilty or that you're sinful or that you're bad. It's none of those things. It's just opening up to love itself and being willing to embrace who you really are. That's what puts the end to the lie and brings you home. Earlier this morning, this one woke up. He was in the kitchen, he was making coffee, and he felt like he couldn't just make coffee. He had to put something on YouTube, sort of to distract himself, kind of to perpetuate the lie that he is a miracle and lives in a miracle, and all of life is a miracle. So let's turn on YouTube and hear something political. But at one point, he turned it off and he went outside. He sipped his coffee and watched the birds. And something started to slip away, that need to perpetuate the lie, that need to cover up the truth of the incredible beauty inside all of us that allows for the beauty on the outside, which is just a mere shadow of what the real beauty is. This is why it's so helpful to be out in nature, to turn the phones off, to breathe, and to just let the lie dissipate and come to Jesus. It's all about love. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.